What's up? This is Todd Smith, and I am back with another video. In this video, we're going to jump right back into the 707 and talk about what I feel is the most important expansion to the actual unit you buy yourself. Rather than, I would say, a memory card, the SD card. You should buy that first for the internal memory of this machine. But after that, to fully expand it into its full potential, you need a keyboard. Any keyboard can do. It doesn't have to be a Juno X like this, a fancy, synth that's $1,000, $2,000, even $500 that has an internal synth engine. It just so happens that I have so many keyboards that I might as well use one of those as MIDI keyboards. If you don't have one, just buying a MIDI keyboard that sends MIDI CC and keys themselves is enough. If you own the 707 and you don't have a keyboard plugged into it, slap yourself in the face, go down, buy a cheap MIDI keyboard today, and throw that motherfucker into this machine. I promise you, it'll expand it 100 times what you've been experiencing right now. I've said it once, I'll say it before, I'll say it again. This is the most, if not one of the most misunderstood pieces on the market. The 707 is completely misunderstood, completely underrated. Once you add a keyboard to this machine, it goes well beyond what you would expect from a groove box. It expands into a semi-workstation aspect territory. One example right now, I'm going to play just a simple string sound that is coming from the 707 directly. I kind of fucked up at the end. But you get the idea. You have some really nice, that's just one preset pad on this machine. Creating that style play on these pads would be very hard and very redundant to recreate in chord mode. I'm sorry. You should not be trying to do that stuff on pad because why? Why take the time and effort to restrict yourself to that madness when you can add something to MIDI in, expand the keys completely, and really add life to this machine? Really allow you to play that synth section that is allowed to you because of this powerful Zen core engine that is packed into the 707. So now we're into the 707. When it comes to hooking up a keyboard into your 707, obviously you want it going into MIDI in 707 from the MIDI out of your keyboard device. I sadly can't explain to you how the MIDI works on your keyboard. That is something you're going to have to figure out yourself. There's an endless amount of keyboard options out there. Once you're sure you have MIDI down on your keyboard and you have the proper MIDI in being sent to the 707, the most important, in my opinion, setting to know, if you hold down shift and go to utility, right, which is the knob assignment button normally, you go here to settings, you go down to MIDI, and if you notice, you have tons of MIDI options in general that we will touch on later. By default, your track MIDI settings are track 1, channel 1, track 2, channel 2, channel 3, and so on. You can change those. so they are not defined. And at the very end, you have the MIDI auto control channel. Mine's set to channel 16 right now on the keyboard. Once it's set to 16, that any track I click on the 707 will automatically play on the keys. If you noticed, I was changing tracks and what I was playing on the keys was changing. So whatever you have that setting set to in terms of your MIDI channel can control automatically whatever you're selecting on the 707, which makes it a very fluid experience in terms of when you're creating a song and you just want to be able to just control immediately what you're selecting. Again, you hold down Shift, you hit the utility, you go to settings, you go down to MIDI auto channel, and you make sure that's to a channel that is proper on your keyboard, that you can set to that and control the whole entire 707.